Glasgow takes center stage in next burst of BBC's Made of Here campaign. Glasgow takes center stage in next burst of BBC's Made of Here campaign. Made of Glasgow celebrates the city as the birthplace of celebrated comedy storytelling, from the iconic Billy Connolly to the misadventures of Jack and Victor in Still Game and the fresh new writing in Dinosaur. The BBC's Made of Here campaign delivers its love letter to Glasgow on Valentine's Day, with a citywide campaign designed to highlight Glasgow's role in some of the BBC's much-loved programs. Made of Glasgow celebrates the city as the birthplace of celebrated comedy storytelling, from the iconic Billy Connolly to the misadventures of Jack and Victor in Still Game and the fresh new writing in Dinosaur. The extensive multimedia campaign will run on billboards, in press and cinema across the city, with exciting experiential stunt activity to support. Made of Glasgow has coincided with the return of the award-winning series Dinosaur, which landed on BBC iPlayer, BBC Scotland, and BBC Three earlier this month. Commenting on the series being showcased in this latest campaign phase, Ashley Story, who stars in, co-created and wrote the series, said, "Filming in Glasgow is one of the greatest experiences in the world. Glasgow is the best city in the world. I'll have no arguments over it. Glasgow has a starring role in Dinosaur, and it's a huge thrill to see it taking a bow in this new BBC campaign. I wonder what else is still to come." In addition to the Glasgow burst, audiences across Scotland will see a new BBC brand film, Made of Scotland, which draws from the best storytelling across Scotland and features titles such as Rebus, Highland Cops, Jules and Greg's Wild Swim, Granite Harbour, Only Child, and Banjo and Rose Grand Island Hotel. Made of Here is designed to celebrate the BBC's commitment to supporting homegrown storytelling. With previous expressions being brought to life in Liverpool and Birmingham, it's now Glasgow and Scotland's turn to shine. The campaign was jointly produced by BBC Creative and BBC Scotland brand teams. On Valentine's Day, while love notes fluttered across shop windows and bouquets filled the streets, another kind of love letter appeared across Scotland's largest city. This one wasn't written in ink, but in storylines, punchlines, and sweeping shots of sandstone tenements. It came from the BBC, and it was addressed to Glasgow. The latest burst of the Made of Here campaign, titled Made of Glasgow, places the city firmly in the spotlight, not merely as a backdrop, but as a character, a heartbeat, a comedic co-conspirator in some of the BBC's most beloved programs. Glasgow has long been a city that speaks in stories. Its humor is sharp, self-aware, and defiantly warm. It's the birthplace of legendary comic observation, embodied by the unmistakable voice of Billy Connolly, whose global acclaim never dulled his unmistakably Glaswegian cadence. His storytelling style, rich, wandering, deeply human, feels inseparable from the city that shaped him. That same spirit carried through to the fictional misadventures of Jack and Victor in Still Game. Craiglang might be imagined, but its soul is undeniably Glasgow. The rhythm of the banter, the affectionate roasting, the everyday absurdities, they all echo from the closes and corner shops of the city. Generations have grown up quoting its lines, proof that Glasgow humor travels far beyond the Clyde. And now, the torch is being passed. The campaign coincides with the return of Dinosaur, the award-winning series that recently landed on BBC iPlayer, BBC Scotland, and BBC Three. Created by and starring Ashley Story, Dinosaur represents a fresh wave of Glaswegian storytelling, intimate, contemporary, and fiercely authentic. Story's words ring with the pride that pulses through this campaign. Filming in Glasgow, she says, is one of the greatest experiences in the world. In Dinosaur, the city doesn't merely host the narrative, it shares the billing. Its streets frame the characters' anxieties and joys. Its architecture anchors their lives. Its humor cushions life's sharper edges. Made of Glasgow understands something powerful. Cities shape stories as much as writers do. The campaign stretches across billboards, press spreads, and cinema screens throughout Glasgow, transforming the city into both canvas and subject. Commuters glance up to see their skyline reflected back at them. Cinema audiences settle into their seats and watch familiar streets glow on the big screen. Experiential stunt activity adds another layer. blurring the line between the fictional worlds of BBC programs and the lived reality of Glaswegians themselves. It's marketing, yes, but it's also recognition. Glasgow has often doubled for other cities on screen. Its Victorian architecture has stood in for Gotham, Philadelphia, and countless unnamed urban landscapes. Yet Made of Glasgow flips that narrative. This time, Glasgow is not pretending. It is proudly itself. Beyond the city limits, a companion brand film titled Made of Scotland expands the love letter to the wider nation. Drawing from storytelling across the country, it features titles such as Rebus, Highland Cops, Jules and Greg's Wild Swim, Granite Harbor, Only Child, and Banjo and Rose Grand Island Hotel. Together, they form the mosaic of contemporary Scottish storytelling, urban grit, rural beauty, family drama, and eccentric adventure. But Glasgow remains the emotional centerpiece of this burst. There is something fitting about launching it on Valentine's Day. Glasgow has always been a city that loves loudly, whether in football chants, late-night debates, or stand-up routines delivered with affectionate bite. Its humor rarely punches down. It punches through. It finds light in hardship, community in chaos. Made of Here, previously brought to life in Liverpool and Birmingham, now lets Glasgow take a bow. The campaign, produced jointly by BBC Creative and BBC Scotland brand teams, signals a broader commitment. Homegrown stories matter. Regional voices matter. Authenticity matters. In an era of global streaming giants and borderless content, Made of Glasgow feels refreshingly local. It reminds audiences that some of the most resonant narratives begin in specific places, in the cadence of a regional accent, in the geometry of familiar streets, in the cultural shorthand that only locals fully grasp. And yet, paradoxically, those hyperlocal stories often travel the furthest. Billy Connolly's tales reached international stages. Still Games sold out arenas. Dinosaur speaks to audiences far beyond Scotland. Glasgow's specificity becomes its universality. As cinema screens dim and billboards glow against February skies, the message is clear. This city is not merely featured in great television. It is made of it. Glasgow doesn't just host stories. It manufactures them. In living rooms, in pubs, in rehearsal rooms, in writers' notebooks scribbled over cups of tea. It shapes voices bold enough to be distinct and warm enough to be embraced widely.